We're gonna do an actual repair video. Yay! All right, so these tires, all right so, not okay so, this is all right so, there's a difference. These tires are good for 1 year. They made it 9 years. Last year was the end. And what they do, actually this one here, it's on the inside. There got to be a crack on the inside of the tire here someplace, and they're getting kind of bald, but they're starting to crack. Anyway, it got a hole in the side of it. We're only going to put the one in. We're only going to put the one tube in. The other side's fine. But there got to be a crack, and this, while I was away, Grant went and put a patch. Right here's the crack.
Yeah.
It's a big.
I got that sealed, and then I could hit the bead to seal.
It's a big, nasty ass. Oh, this bead isn't seated?
Well, no, I got it to seat by the end of it being in the shed.
Okay.
But
So, anyways, I need new tires, but I have a job that needs to be done. I didn't realize it was that big of a crack.
oh yeah, I had to. I think there's 2 big patches in there.
Well, that's fine, because what we're going to do is we're going to pop it off, because I don't have time. That thing is not going to hold. But if you put a patch in front of it, and it's that one spot, but if you put a patch over top of it, you can put an inner tube, which my camera for some stupid reason doesn't want to do what I want it to do, so give me a second. There we go. We bought these made for Firestone tires. They're 20.838s. It is a inner tube, but it's made in Korea because for some reason we can't build anything here in the United States because we've been sold out by our government and other entities known as Firestone and other tire manufacturers. It's cheaper to have cheaper labor overseas and then pay for the fuel and the pollution to get here. But you know, I'm just a dumb farmer. I don't know anything. We gotta use you know, this crap here, diesel exhaust fluid that comes in plastic jugs to be pumped into your machine. But they can take and use bunker oil, which is the most, it's like tar that has to be heated before you can burn it in the boat to get the shit back across the ocean. But hey, I'm just a dumb farmer from New Jersey. I don't know anything. But anyways, we're going to work on this. He's going to jack it up, and we'll all start breaking the tire down. We're going to get the jack underneath it. We'll get jacked up, and then
I can't get it under the jack point. That's why I'm airing it up.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Here, I thought you were just fooling around. What the hell's the matter with you? So the reason we're doing this now instead of in like a month and a half is because I picked up a piece of ground that has it actually has old hay on it that's stood the test of the year, you know, and there's quite a bit of it. So we're going to go mow it and bale it, and we'll call that a day. So it'll be mowed and baled, and then I'll change the tires before this coming year, before this coming season, because we need reliability, and these tires are just not going to be reliable. That inner tube will float down the river with it after we're done, right? It'll be all right. We can just float down the river with it, because that's about what it'll be used for. I do have a spare one over there. Now, in a pinch, if you've got a problem like with, say, one of these tires, like a Trelleborg 710-70R38 that I just repaired this, believe it or not. You can see my repair is there. I had a lot of naysayers say that isn't gonna hold, but man, it cured really, really nicely. It doesn't peel up, it's good. I fixed that tire. But if you have a problem with this thing here, you can actually use a 20.838 tire inner tube in a pinch. It will go in there and it will expand to the right size. Not something I would suggest you do. I suggest if you're going to put a tube in, you get the right one. But until you figure out those problems. But anyway, yeah, there's another crack on this tire here as well. I'm going to flip it around. I just see it right there. You see that? This is what Goodyears are known for, splitting out like that. But hopefully I get through this mess for this one farm. It's like, I think it's 140 acres, but it has to be cut off, and we're going to go with both machines. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So I'll just shut up here, and we'll break the tire down and put the inner tube in, and life should be okay. Right? Right. Alrighty then. I am going to just talk about this as we go through. So this tire last summer started giving me a little bit of trouble with a crack, and that crack has expanded to the point where it's about that long, and it just started to leak. Well, I've got a job that I need to do in the next couple of days. We're about halfway done with it now anyway, but and I just don't, I'm having all kinds of trouble getting consistency and getting paid from the people that I sell my hay to. They're really becoming a nuisance to me, which does not allow me to pay the bills that are necessary to be paid, and then be able to, buy tires and things like when I need them. And right now I need tires for this thing to start the new season. But the cheapest option for me to do was to go and buy a couple of inner tubes and put in these tires in the event that I, put it. It's cheaper. It's $150 for an inner tube, and it's like $2,000 for each one of those tires. So I sent Grant down to the Champion Tire down in Ringo's, New Jersey, where they were able to, they had a couple of these inner tubes, and we just bought them and put them in. Now, what you're seeing me do here, when you do get these things jacked up, they're very, very heavy. But what you're seeing me do is actually flip the button in the hub on that thing, allowing you to spin the tire that you're working on. Yeah, Grant's underneath there, but there's no chance of it falling on him because, well, let's face it, it's locked on the other side, and the jack is placed very, very well underneath it. And what we're doing is we're breaking the bead down with the bead breaker that we bought like 20 years ago, and so we can get that tire off of there. A little bit of lubrication. If you see what I'm pouring in there, that is a mixture of Lucas engine oil stabilizer and diesel fuel. The reason I use that mixture is because you can never get all the Lucas engine oil stabilizer out of there. So you just throw some diesel fuel in there, and that loosens it up, and it makes a really nice tire lubricant. It isn't going to hurt the tire. It's not going to cause it to leak. It's not going to cause the rubber to break down. You can use that just fine. You can use soap as well, Dawn dish soap, but that is corrosive, and it will, because of the lye that's in it, it's very alkaline, and it will rot your rims. That's why I opt for the oil in that. So what Grant did was pull the tubeless valve core stem out, and what you see me doing now is getting the inner tube ready to put into the tire. We cleaned the inside of the tire out. There was a little bit of oil that had dripped in there. You don't want oil in there because it will cause the tube to stick to the tire as it is inflating, and we don't want to do that. You see Timothy going in with gasoline that we use for generators and other things in all around the farm. So he's cleaning that all out, and if you see on the header there in front of the tire, there is a little container of baby oil, and what I'm doing there is fixing a shield that has lost its rubber grommet, and I use a piece of baling twine to straighten it, to tie it up. Because we're kind of multitasking. We're getting ready to go mow this material that we're going to mow. And, of course, my wife, and me acting like my wife being a smart ass, when she gets all pissed off, she just puts her shoulders back. And it makes her laugh, and, I like to do that. So now what you're seeing me do with this inner tube is to actually inflate it a little bit. You really want to inflate the inner tube before you put it inside the tire. When I say inflate it, I'm not saying, make it hard. You'll see Timothy putting baby powder on the inside of the tire, or talc. You can use talc. and me goofing around with my wife a little bit. Now I am just pouring baby powder, put it in the tire like that, pouring baby powder on it so that any of the baby powder that is in there can go inside the tire instead of wasting it on the ground. And what that does, it just makes it slippery. So always put your valve stem at the bottom of the tire, at the bottom of the, when you're going to go put this in. And when you go to put your tube, and you see I'm putting more air in, make sure there's enough air in there so when you start to put the tire on, that the inner tube isn't just floppy there and it doesn't just, flop down into it, and you pinch it with your bars, right? Your pry bars or your tire irons. You'll see me work this thing. Grant is holding. I just told these guys to hold it because if I pinch it, it's my fault. And then String Bean goes and gets a shale bar to kind of smack the top of the tire down into the well of the rim. He tries for a little bit, and then I make him hold on to the tire iron, and then Brutus the Barber Beefcake comes along, and he goes ahead and he gets it to go in. He's just beating that thing in there. So you can see that it just fell into the well of the rim, and I go ahead and gently and cautiously put the rest of that tire on there. And then you're going to see me climb under there. I'm going to climb underneath the mower, and as it's inflating a little bit there, I'm going to lower the mower down so that the rim can easily slip onto the rim. The tire can slip onto the rim without pinching the tube. You'll just see that I'm fighting with it a little bit because it's in a tight space, and it's a railroad jack, and we really shouldn't have used that. We should have used a hydraulic jack, but Grant put it under there, and that's fine. So now you'll see me flip the button, or attempt to flip the button, but because I've lowered the tire onto the ground, you can't move the tire, so I send Grant up into the machine once we get enough air in there to, you'll give him a second, he'll climb up there. And we just take it out of park, which is the lever, your hydrostatic drive lever, and he'll steer the wheel a little to the right and a little to the left. And, we're waiting for air to go in there. Once I get enough air in it, I guess that's when he goes up there. And, these tires are marked on the rim as to how much air goes in there, which is 23 pounds of air per tire, front tire. And the back tires, I do believe, are about 16 pounds of air. If you overinflate the rear tires of this machine, they will wobble. Okay, so now he's up in there. He's going to start it up. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see this thing smoothly, but I have him work that just a little bit, just a little bit. Oop. Okay, so he's locked in, and he backs out, and the pin that pushes the sun gear out of the planet gears, it popped out. So we had to kind of stick it back in there, and now I'm just replacing the cap. That keeps that thing in place. There's a spring on the back side, but a little bit of oil ran out of there. But and it looked good. It was clean because we had changed the oil in that thing last, I guess it was last fall. So just going to finish putting the air in the tire, and we're going to call it a day. And that will be that for that process, and you will hear me talking in a little bit because I'm going to finish up the video live on video. So yeah, enjoy the rest. All right, so 36 minutes to change out an inner tube. I'm going to speed it up, or I already have sped it up. Yeah, so if you're working on these things and you need to turn a wheel, you saw me flip this. A lot of guys don't know that, but you pop that out. It's the same on a combine four-wheel drive unit as well. Take those two bolts out and flip that around, and that'll disengage the sun gear from the planets, and then it'll freewheel. So yeah, you can do that. You can actually hook these up to a tractor or something and pull them down the road backwards if you needed to. They're just that way. There's special hitches. If you want to push it up onto something, if you're stuck somewhere and it doesn't run and you need to move it like off the road, you flip those around, hook a chain to it and drag it, and that's how you do it. But hopefully we won't have to do that, and soon enough we will have us some new tires to put on here, and we'll get Teresa in her bikini and she can go down the river on an inner tube.
Get the hell out of here.
I'll film you.
Stop it.
Oh, so pretty.
No.
No?
No.
I thought you were grumpy.
Stop it.
Never grumpy.